Horse racing, back on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast. We're focusing over in the US, and we're focusing at a track that we speak about once a year, and that's this once. So we're focusing over at PARX. We've got two races to look through today. We got the Cotillion and also the Pennsylvania Derby. My name's Luke Helder, joined as ever by Tom Collins. We're branching out two races. Tom, do you reckon you can handle it?
I can definitely handle it, given we cover about 45 on a Sky evening together. What I can't handle is talking about PARX for more than two races, but hopefully we can provide at least one winner in this group, in this podcast.
Speaking of Sky, Saturday?
Sure. Yes, Saturday evening. Are we showing PARX, the Penn Derby? I have no idea.
Not a clue. Probably, but don't know. If not, we'll just sit there and riot. We'll commentate on it live on air. We'll work out some way. But me and Tom, live on Sky Sports Racing this Saturday evening. Looking forward to that one. Hopefully as well, we're going to find a race that just isn't a massive boil over, because the last couple of weeks now, Grand Sonata and Win for the Money have been massive price, impossible to find winners. This week should be slightly different regards to races hopefully not falling apart. But let's jump straight in with the Penn Derby. Also, if you're an NFL fan, by the way, we have got our NFL video up right about now. We've had our Thursday night video that's just been recorded. That will be up as you are watching this, and also our Sunday night preview will be coming up on our YouTube page as well. Leave a like, comment who you think will win the Cotillion or the Pennsylvania Derby. And also subscribe to us as well. That very much helps out the channel. But let's have a look at the Pennsylvania Derby. The two horses to focus upon are the two that are well found in the market. Dragoon Guard is 9-5 morning line favourite. Stronghold is 5-2. Let's start with Dragoon Guard. He doesn't do anything flashy, but I like everything that he does. He just goes and gets the job done.
Yeah, it's really hard not to like this horse. I'm going to integrate the pace scenario into this Dragoon Guard overview as well. He is the likely leader in this spot, but there is a lot of speed in the race. However, it looks like Dragoon Guard's going to be able to get to the front, which is crucial to his charge. If you've watched his previous races, he's a big, galloping grey individual who's at his best when he's on the lead. He grinds out success, and he's already proven that he can win races like this. You know, he's gone and won the Indy Derby. He's won the West Virginia Derby. Like, they're similar races to the Penn Derby in terms of the quality of horse he's coming up against. He's done it impressively the last twice, and you know, if he can get to the lead, then it could be a very similar story in here. He is 9-5 on the morning line. I think you said that. He's currently over here around 7-4 favourite for the race, which is very similar to the morning line price. I have no issue with it. Anyone that likes Dragoon Guard, I think that price is probably fair to his chance. The only problem could be if the pace develops a little bit quicker than it has in his recent outings. In those Indy Derby and West Virginia Derby wins, he was able to set solid, if not spectacular, early speed figures. You know, he was kind of allowed to go on at his own pace, whereas in here, there are a couple of other horses that could go forward. The likes of Seize the Grey, if they adopt that forward-going tactic that we've seen in the past, he could try to lead from the inside. There's Lonesome Boy in here, Unmatched Wisdom. Both of them, those two horses also want to push forward. So there is a chance Dragoon Guard will have to go faster early, but it should be within his realm to do that.
I like that. I want him to go harder early. He's a typical arrogant. If you looked at him, I mean, get rid of the horse's colour, he's grey, and get rid of the silks in the back, the Juddmonte Farms colours. He still looks like an arrogant. He runs like an arrogant. He is just everything that his dad was, effectively, just not quite that ability. Yeah, he's improving, but I think if they go hard early on, that will really suit him out. I think there could be every single box ticked by him in the Pennsylvania Derby. But look, we have to mention Stronghold as well. Has obviously met in the past Dragoon Guard. They met over at Horseshoe Indianapolis in the Indiana Derby. Now, Dragoon Guard was quite comfortably out on top. Honestly, I don't really see why that form would be reversed, but he's a very useful horse in his own right, is Stronghold.
Yeah, he has a similar profile to Dragoon Guard insofar as he's won a couple of derbies at lower venues, the likes of Sunland Derby and the Santa Anita Derby. Obviously, that's not a lower venue, but the racing quality wasn't really there that time. He's had slightly more starts, a few more starts than Dragoon Guard. I think he's had 8 compared to Dragoon Guard's 5, so maybe he's a bit more exposed than the likely favourite in here. At the morning line price of 5-2, he wouldn't be a play. But I've seen one firm over here go 9-2 about Stronghold, and I think that's very, very fair. If you prefer him or think he could reverse that Indy Derby form, you're going to get some value in the 9 to 2 price. He won't go off that big. The positive for him, when you look back to that horseshoe race, was that Dragoon Guard set the fractions relatively slow up front. Stronghold broke well, and then Antonio Fresu took back against the fence and then sat third or fourth in behind a wall of horses, and they were going no pace. So he didn't get a great trip or great ride that day. I think they're going to be a little bit more forceful from the outside gate, try to get into a nice prominent position and not get stuck in behind horses. That's the positive for him, but I just don't know if he's got the talent to reverse that form.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he'll run well. 9 to 2 is probably a little bit too big, regards to Stronghold. I don't think it's a race that's got a ton of depth in here, but we'll get straight into picks because we have got the Cotillion to talk about as well. I like Dragoon Guard in here. I really like Dragoon Guard, actually. I think it's 7 to 4. That's a fair price. I still think he's a horse we haven't even come close to seeing the best of yet. Whenever he's really asked to go away and quicken, he wins his races pretty comfortably. I think he's going to continue to get better and better. I'd be fascinated to see how high up the 3-year-old pecking order he can get before the year is out. So Dragoon Guard, boringly, Tom, is my play in here. You're going a little further afield.
Yeah, I respect Dragoon Guard. Brad Cox obviously won this race with Saudi Crown as well in the past, so we know that he can target a nice one here. I'm just more interested in each way play. I think Dragoon Guard's price is accurate rather than super value on offer, so I want to look slightly elsewhere. And this probably isn't a win play, but I think Protective is going to run into the money here. Look, he doesn't have the best of profiles. He's only won one race out of 7, and that race came when he was a 1 to 9 favourite last time, and he was hard pushed to get the job done. It wasn't a big margin like you would expect for a horse at that kind of price. However, it was a small field, and he just strikes me as a horse that only does enough. He will run to the level of the opposition he's against. If you go through his past efforts, he's actually run pretty well in much better races like the Wood Memorial, a couple of other Kentucky Derby prep events. And last time in that rubbish maiden, he thought, well, I don't need to do much. So he didn't. He won by around a length and a half and, was pretty underwhelming in doing so. But here, he gets a lot more speed to chase than he did last time in that small field. He should be quite far back in the race, but not too far back, which should enable him to pick off some of the front runners who maybe pay for their early exertions. And crucially, he gets Irad Ortiz on board, and Irad's ridden him very well in the past. So I'll take Protective each way at, I don't know, around 6-7 to 1, I anticipate.
Yeah, I like that. I think he's a horse who could easily be second best in this race as well, behind Dragoon Guard. Very Untold Pletcher-like to take a horse who hasn't won a maiden, go straight into a Wood Memorial, the Peter Pan, and then into the Belmont. But he's very much an interesting horse, is Protective. We'll travel back in time. We'll go from race 13 to race 12, because race 12 is the Grade 1 Cotillion. Honestly, it's not really a betting race, but it's a race that we feel that we should touch upon because it's got Thorpedo Anna in here. First thing first, whoever is doing the morning lines over at PARX is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my entire life. The morning line for Thorpedo Anna is 4-5. If Thorpedo Anna was genuinely 4-5, I would be having a pretty big bet on at that price.
Yeah, I'm only anticipating that the morning line maker just hasn't seen the Travers. They weren't aware that the Travers took place, and they just think this filly could be
Even
okay.
without that,
I know,
it'd be 1-5.
I know, it's stupid. She is going to go off 1 to 5. To be honest, if she went off, even she could go off 1 to 9 in the US, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think she's more of a 1 to 4, 1 to 5 shot over in the UK. She's currently available, I think, at 1 to 2 with one firm. And if you do like short prices and maybe you're a bigger stake kind of punter, then I wouldn't put you off because she does look almost a certainty on what she's done this year. She does have to fire. Obviously, every horse has to fire in a proper race, like whatever this kind of race is, Grade 1. But if she runs a C race, she'll win this. The field is okay. It's not like she's against a load of cart horses, but Thorpedo Anna is just exceptionally good. One of the best 3-year-olds in the country. And as I say, if she runs to that Travers performance, she would win this by 10 plus lengths.
Let's play the Thorpedo Anna game. If she were yours, Distaff or Classic at the Breeders' Cup?
Classic. I don't understand why you would go to the Travers and then not run in the Classic. It just seems a little bit confusing. Like, you've gone to tackle the boys. If she underperformed again in the Travers, then fair enough. Go back to the fillies and you'd smash them again. But she's run so close to some of the best 3-year-olds. The older division in the Breeders' Cup Classic this year doesn't look that good. So why wouldn't you go to the Classic? But I think they're almost 100% certain they're going to go to the Distaff, which is why they're taking in the Cotillion this week. Yeah,
That's very Kenny McPeak, isn't it? Kenny McPeak loves
Yeah.
doing the brave thing, bringing horses that have no chance over to England, but still running them anyway. Running horses in just bizarre slots, but she'd be a big contender in the Classic. But if they go for the distaff, they go for the distaff. She should win this on the way. Let's play the game of forecast. Who's going to be second best in this race?
Yeah, it's difficult, obviously, to put anything up against Thorpedo Anna. She should win, and she's going to be our selection in the race. Mystic Lake is going to lead the field early. She was pretty good at Charlestown last time, but I think Thorpedo Anna's got too much for her, and she'll put her to bed early in the race, which will mean she'll fall back through the pack. Of the others, Power Squeeze is no pushover, but she's going to be a short enough price with Irad taking over for the first time. Tarifa ships in for Brad Cox, but again, she's kind of much of a muchness in this division. She's going to stalk the pace and could be another one to kind of succumb to the power of Thorpedo Anna early and then weaken late in the event. So I think if a horse is going to pick up the pieces and run second, it could be Sidamara. She's only had the 4 starts, open to loads of improvement, was very impressive winning her maiden, a pretty good maiden as well, beating a horse called Just Basking. And recently she's run pretty well. So, I'll take Sidamara to maybe finish second, but this is a race where you have to kind of play forecast or nothing at all because Thorpedo Anna is going to be so short.
Yeah, there are 8 runners for the moment. That might change closer to race time. Obviously, if we lose one, then we're down to 2 places for all each way bets in the UK. But I'm with Tom. I think Sidamara is probably the main danger. I would have preferred it if Sidamara had a set of blinkers on, because I don't think she's 100% straightforward. But I think Sidamara is absolutely the danger. Thorpedo Anna, it's likely a no-bet contest because she's going to be a very short price, but she should win on her way to whatever she tackles at Del Mar, regards to the Breeders' Cup. But that's a preview of the Pennsylvania Derby. It's a preview of the Grade 1 Cotillion as well. I would say we're both previewing it on Saturday, but I feel these 2 races are after I go off air at 9:30.
Yeah, they will be. And also, we don't even know if we're showing PARX. Sky Sports Racing is phenomenal for racetracks that we show, but PARX is not one of them due to their low quality throughout the year. But fingers crossed, the higher ups have got PARX on the radar this week.
Yeah, I have confidence that we will, but if not, winner pays the same anyway, whether you can watch it or not. That is us done for the Horse Racing Podcast. As I say, we have got plenty of NFL content as well on our YouTube channel. We've got the Thursday Night Football preview on the channel at the moment. If it's still in time, you can go watch that. If not, you can go see how we did with our picks. And the Sunday NFL video will be on the channel right about now as well. Be looking forward to our picks this weekend. But Tom, that's horse racing done for another week and one step closer to the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, we're getting really close now. It's only, 6 weeks away? Maybe, something around that. I'm really looking forward to it. Going to have to start getting some anti-post bets sorted. And we've got quite a lot in store when it comes to preparing for the Turf and Touchdown podcast for the Breeders' Cup. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on anything to do with the big meeting of the year.
Yep, subscribe, comment, leave a like below. As I say, it all very much helps out the channel, and you get to stay up to date with everything we do on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast, which will be back covering horse racing once again next week. Plenty of NFL content on the channel right now, but until we next get the pleasure of speaking to you guys, stay safe, look after one another. Goodbye.